gente? It's your girl Nina Montañez.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy Rue, and I'm coming for you. And this is
Sofrito Speaks.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. Damas y
Sofrito
caballeros.
Speaks, damas y caballeros, y ustedes out there. This is episode 5 or 6 of season 6.
This will be the third subscriber episode.
Is it? I think this is the second.
No. There was one with me and you.
It might just be 6.
Then Chef. Now me and you.
Period. So, episode 6, and this week we got a cute little topic for y'all for this Caldero talk. Just a little something light. But yeah, let's start with the first section of the show, which is El Chisme, the part of the show where we let you know what had you fucked up or jodido. What?
I'm going to start.
What?
I'm going to start because it's so TMI, but I just feel like it's something more people need to talk about, and it shouldn't be this taboo. You want to know what had me fucked up this week? Fucking hemorrhoids had me fucked up this week.
Loca! I wasn't expecting that.
That's why I started laughing, because I'm like, he's about to literally have a fucking conniption.
Hemorrhoids.
But I'm going to be super honest. Unfortunately.
Well, you lived.
That's what Sulma keeps saying, and I'm like, Mom, I don't feel lifting in my asshole. Like, I'm not confused.
No. I got a sphincter, I think is what it's called. Basically, it's like it's a lesion around that area. When I used to back when I was 26 and I was going to the gym hardcore, and the doctor was like, obviously they asked, are you having penetration here? And I was like, no, absolutely not. And then he's like, well, do you go to the gym? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, it's when you're lifting because you don't notice, but that muscle is doing that. So it's putting all that pressure. So it could be lifting. And that's where those come from all that build up and pressure.
Which is interesting though, because I literally, when I tell you guys I pay attention to my body, I pay attention to what triggers whatever. For me, what triggers it is when I'm not drinking a lot of water and when I am not eating as clean as I should be. So with the transition from one job to another, I've just been super lazy, whatever. So I'm just let me grab something quick.
I know. I saw that you went to the gym for the first time in 2 or 3 weeks.
No, I've been going to the gym, but I haven't lifted in 3 weeks.
I was like,
I don't know. I strained the muscle
in
my
the
back.
Depression?
No, literally. It was depressing that I couldn't go as hard as I want to go because I look at everybody else and I'm like, damn, their form is all the way fucked up, but they
Meanwhile, I'm at the gym. I asked my trainer. I'm just talking mad shit the whole time. He's like, bro, you're never gonna. I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm done. I've checked out. I checked out in 2020. We're good.
Yo, nah, no bullshit. But I was just this time around, it normally happens every couple months. But that's normally when I fall off. I'm I had McDonald's, I was eating Wendy's. When I start to eat heavy processed food like that, my body is
I could see that.
Stop.
I could see that.
Stop. Knocking on me, stop. We about to fuck you up.
Bloop, bloop,
and
bloop.
It absolutely fucked me up. And I was constipated. I couldn't go for a while. And then when I finally decided to go, I have to push because and then straining that is the fucking worst. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna air my own shit out literally on this episode because I'm I feel more there's more people that can relate than there are not.
Facts.
But it's just something that we don't talk about. So that's what my hemorrhoids had me fucked up this week. To the point where I couldn't sit down. Sitting burned. I was this sucks.
I'm trying to adjust. If you think I'm doing a lot right now, I'm just trying to adjust the mic and not unplug it.
Is it suppositories? This looks like a little bullet, and that's
the
extreme.
Wait for so that you can pass stool.
It helps soften it as well as helps aid the.
Can we talk about the time when I did have that issue down there and I didn't know that you had to insert?
Well, you just putting it between your cheeks and letting it.
Nah, bro, I swallowed that shit. Girl, the first pill I swallowed, and I was like, this pill is shaped a bit weird. Wow, the texture. I'm it's so smooth. And I'm they should make all pills like this. They should all come this smooth and nice and oval, goes down the throat, nice and smooth, baby. And then 3 hours went by, and I'm It's coming
Your stomach
out still.
didn't hurt?
No. No.
Although basically, mi gente, he swallowed preparation H.
I was literally like, and then I'm like, maybe I should read the instructions, because I tend to do that. I tend to just do things without reading the instructions. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then I'm like, I'm going to read those instructions. And it was, yeah. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh,
Pun intended.
let me just put the next two up in there real quick.
But a little embarrassing ass story when I was traveling. When I was coming back from Mexico.
It's a shitty episode.
You're so stupid. So whenever I travel, that I tend to become constipated. My body's like, ooh, new space. We not going nowhere. So I always have preparation H.
It has
cream.
trouble letting go.
No.
The memories. Remember home?
Yo, but yeah, like it's hard for me to go. If I can go within the first 24 hours of me being somewhere, I know I'm good for the rest of the trip. If after 24 hours I haven't gone yet, it's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be.
I know it's gonna be a shit show.
How many days were here?
It's been 3. My stomach hurts really bad. I need to go. But yeah.
And the alcohol. Do you drink when you're on vacation?
Not a lot.
Okay, because I feel like the alcohol.
I'll probably have like one or two,
that.
but no, it has helped me.
Yeah.
Like by the next morning, I'm like, oh, dad's day after drinking shits. I'd be hyped. But anyways, so we're getting to the airport. We're going through customs or whatever. And I know I have nothing over said ounces that you could have in your bag.
Period.
So whatever. I'm like a very wise traveler. Like you're not gonna catch me slipping.
Same.
So
I ain't paying no $35.
you know what I mean? Like, and I don't. My thing is, wherever I go, what I pack, I will literally. Side note, I'll pack like 2 pairs of jeans, a pair of sweats, a pair of shorts, but then I'll have multiple tops and they're all interchangeable so I can make multiple outfits because I'm not checking a bag. I'm not checking a bag. I am a carry-on bitch. Why? Because right when that plane lands, I want to get the fuck out the airport.
Factual.
Like, I want to go.
People be like, oh, I got to wait for... Wait.
What do you mean?
You checked your bag in? Oh my God.
Why did you check your bag?
While you do that, I'm gonna wait outside.
No, thank you. No, dead ass. So we're going through, they stop my bag. I have my personal and then my carry-on. My personal bag, they stop it. And I'm like, what the fuck is in my personal bag? Like I was racking my brain as to what. They opened my makeup bag. I had like a little, like not my makeup bag, but like my little pouch. And there's like a pouch inside of the pouch.
It's
that
giving
had like
those Russian figurines.
You know what I mean? Basically.
They're like.
They're just, no, so it was the bigger pouch, and then there was the one inside that had I think I had like pads, tampons, preparation H, wipies, whatever. I had like all of that inside. Okay. And I'm like, my friend's looking at me. I'm looking at her. We're both like, bitch, what is in there? They pull out the suppository. Is that what it's called?
Yes,
They pulled it out. And it looks like it's shaped like a little bullet. It's in a little silver package. They pulled it out, and the guys they're literally just holding it, staring at it. And I looked dead at them, and I said, "I have hemorrhoids."
It's the TMI everywhere she's going for me.
Because they're looking at me like they're about to tackle me in the airport. Get the guard dogs. I have hemorrhoids, bitch. Put that shit back in. That money down for the flight. Thank you. Like. They literally immediately were like, "Ay," dropped it mad quick. Like that one wasn't in my ass, you asshole.
Judgments. The judgment from the.
You know what I mean?
The Mexican TSA.
Yo, but yeah, that's what had me fucked up this week.
Girl, I mean, I don't know if it really had you fucked up, but
it had me fucked up. I was hurting.
It was by the colon, baby.
It was.
This week for me. It was okay. I mean, New York was pretty chill. It was pretty chill.
Chill. You should watch the story. This man was.
I mean, I had a good time. I didn't party as much as I wanted to. I was traveling with somebody whose mentality is just a little bit older than mine, and I'm like, okay, well, noted.
You no longer traveling with me. Removing.
No, we can travel together, but I need to bring more people. When I go somewhere, I like to think of like I like to go through people of like who's gonna be good, who's gonna be whatever. So we had a good time, but I wish I could have done more. It was very touristy. Like I was just like over that aspect because I was like New York feels like home when I go. So it's like I don't know, I don't really care to see the Brooklyn Bridge, but I'll do it, I guess. Um, and yeah, and then I also packed very light. I packed like apparently I packed every underwear and sock I had with no clothes. Because when I got into the hotel and I opened my luggage, I'm like, so you didn't bring clothes. You brought the jeans you have on, another pair, and 2 shirts.
For how long were you?
I was there for 5 days.
At least you had clean panties.
I was like, first thing we got to do, obviously, is hit up H&M and hit that sales section. Like, it was God's gift to me. And I definitely...
Did it bless you? Did it bless you?
Yeah. I went through my whole entire check. No regrets. Honestly, I ate beautifully. I was eating like... I'm like, yo, you want to go there? Let's go there. Let's go here. I just was like, I'm on vacation. Like, let's just have a good time.
Right.
I needed a break. And then this past week... it was light work.
Did you talk to your boss about Shorty from last week throwing Skittles at you?
No, I didn't. I had to like really. I wanted to. But then I was just like, then this is just gonna cause all of this extraness. We're in the process of getting a new program director, who's starting soon, and I just didn't want to be in any type of negative light that I'm already in. Because baby, the way that I am looked at this job, but I honestly don't care because it's like I'm just here to fucking make this money and just get the fuck out.
Right.
But yeah, that did have me fucked up. I am just a little bit more reserved now, and like they have like a Christmas party coming up, and I'm gonna try to figure out if I can get out of that by like saying, oh, I have an appointment. I need to leave. Sorry.
Yo, let me know. Just send a text, call, and I'll call you. Oh my God, you gotta go get me.
I'm gonna figure something out because I told my coworker. I told my coworker, I'm like, loca, yo no voy para allá. Yo no voy para allá. And she's like, why? It's just a Christmas party. It's gonna be fun. I'm like, for you. I went to the Halloween party. I don't know if I said it on the last episode. I went to the Halloween party. No, I didn't say it on the last episode.
You weren't here.
I went to the Halloween party and I did have a good time. They did a scavenger hunt. My team won, period. And the food, baby. Okay, so potlucks. It's potluck season. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like going to the table and I'm like, you know what? I'm like telling myself like, yo, just have a clear mind. Trust the food is gonna be good. I said, please, Lord, I didn't bring lunch today. I'm not trying to spend money on my lunch. I went up to that food, baby. First of all, everything looked okay, but then I looked extra hard, and I was like, I'm just like, mind you, everyone's behind me, and I'm like my eyes all shit, fucking squinting in. I found hair in 3 dishes. I was like, you know what? Somebody bought pizza. We're having 2. I brought donuts. I'm going to eat that. Whatever's packaged, that's what I'm going to enjoy. Somebody did bring cookies, homemade cookies, and I opened it up, and I even shook the thing to see if any hair. I mean, I guess when you go to restaurants, the same thing happens, but I don't know. I feel like if you're cooking and you're bringing it and it's supposed to be like a special dish, like why is there hair in it? Like
it was like a pet hair or
no. So the meatballs, which I wanted to try because they were like, these are my white people, they got the world famous dishes, which has never been anywhere. So they're like, oh, these are my world famous meatballs, and I'm like, all right, girl, we're doing a lot.
You've only been to Haverhill and back. Mom.
World famous. 2 cities. So I wanted to try them, and then like everyone went towards them, and I watched one of my coworkers grab the meatballs, and when she sat down, I was like, girl, did you, in Spanish, because so I'm like, did you look at the meatballs? And she's like, yeah, they look good. And I'm like, girl, there's like a whole weave up in there. Like every meatball came with its own Sia wig. Like, what are we talking about? I was not I was looking at that shit like, ah! Let me tell y'all, the potluck game is changing. I'm going to another potluck from my other job, I think in 2 weeks.
But you've been to, you guys have had multiple, like, and you've never reported anything bad.
Yeah, no, the Movement City potlucks are really good. They bring really good food, and I be eating, baby. I be eating. You know,
Leonina, you free? Yes, I am for the potluck.
Okay, let's go.
I always get like the scraps. But
I like it too because it's with the parents of the kids.
Yeah.
So like they usually have these activities. Like we haven't done one in like 2 years because of the pandemic and everything. But last time we did an activity where the parents had to like write a poem. It was really sweet. It's these really sweet moments that you're just like, yo, when I was a kid, I wish I had like something like this to share with my mom. And then the kids are just like funny and it's cool to be just a normal person with them and not their instructor yelling at them. It's a really cool thing.
LOL. Also, listen, multiple things had me fucked up this week.
Okay, let's bounce it. Let's
just go back and forth.
This is the whole point of a subscriber episode. We are giving y'all the juice.
The juices. So I sat in this little DEI training, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and equity, whatever you want to call it.
You know what? They should, sorry to cut you off. They should make these trainings like a legal training report card that if you do it in one company, you don't have to do it in the other.
No, like no bullshit.
Because it's annoying.
When I tell you,
Starbucks was 2 weeks.
When I tell you, this was only 4 hours.
Starbucks was 2 motherfucking weeks of training for I was like, how you gonna tell me how I should treat myself?
I think y'all need to learn how to treat me.
I'm not the problem.
No, you know what I mean? And that's the shit. I'm like, whose ego are we stroking in these meetings? Because I'm not confused. So I'm sitting and then I'm listening, whatever. They were like, we started off the meeting with, I was like, yo, kudos to y'all. Wow, you guys have people of color that are presenting. That's what's up. That's what I was looking hard for. Because ain't no way you going to have somebody this side of the hand trying to tell me about me. Ain't going to happen, baby. I'm not going to be listening. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, they asked, we're gonna create a safe space, a brave space. Okay.
That's the setup. That is the setup. When they say safe space, I'm like, bitch, you snitching.
So
y'all snitch. Who snitching? The safe ones. Y'all snitching.
We turned up in this episode. So people were calling out like what makes a safe space, like, seek to understand rather than be understood, blah, 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 blah. So I raised my hand and I said, boundaries. They're like, oh, can you elaborate on that? I said, yeah. If you are in this meeting and someone says something that makes you uncomfortable and or you might not like, 1, check your ego. And 2, understand that immediately after this meeting, during lunch, is not the time for you to run up to that person to ask them what they meant. Respect their boundaries. They said what they said.
Ooh.
Right?
That wasn't received.
Oh, it was. Everybody was like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, okay. I.e., I'm about to say some shit, and at lunchtime, I don't want nobody coming up to me to ask me.
Nina comes with a manual, and she's letting you know. Okay?
No, I'm going to give y'all a blueprint. Basically, I was saying that for myself, because I'm like, I'm going to say some shit. I know that I am. Respectfully. However, I don't need you tapping me on my shoulder while I'm getting my salad to ask me to clarify. Okay? Because I'm not going to do it. Okay? You know what I mean? So whatever, there are just some certain positions that I don't feel should be in these rooms for these kinds of conversations because they shift the conversation because some people might be afraid to speak what they actually have on their mind because these said people are in the room. But I digress. That could be my notes for them when I'm like, if you can do this again, these people cannot be in the room, period. Okay. So we start off with like, who are you? People start saying like, oh, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm this, I'm
son,
that.
Bitch.
Stupid. So whatever. So okay, everybody like kind of got to know each other on a different level. Okay. I'm looking around the room. I noticed that there's only, minus the presenters, there's all of 4, maybe 5 people of color in this room. All women. Okay. Bet. So whatever, they're going on, they're talking. We finished the whole presentation. I'm trying to figure out how we got from point A to point B. Because I'm like, we started talking about the community. And I'm like, the community is diverse. We are not representative of our community. But there's other issues happening within these 4 walls that have nothing to do with the community. Hence why we're having this conversation. But we sugarcoated it and covered it to be about the community and who we serve. So we get to the tail end of everything. they ask, oh, what did we like about this? I'm sitting there, please God, let them ask. Let them ask. What did you dislike? Because if it's a prompt, I'm going to answer it. Why? Because it's on the screen. We put it on the screen. Oh, I bet. Everybody said, oh, it was so nice to get to know about other people and learn that, some people like this and blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to the second one. And mind you, I'm looking around the room, like, trying not to roll my eyes. I have to literally just, like, because I know that there are eyes that are on me watching me specifically. Okay. I don't like to say I'm a troublemaker. I'm not a troublemaker. But I absolutely create ripples with what the things that I say. I'll say like a small comment, but it'll ripple out. And then for some reason, people feel offended.
I love it though. Because I'm the same way at my job. Like they look at me when they talking about shit like this and I'm just there like, your face says it all.
Right. So
when you're that bitch,
I had to actually fix my face. So I'm like, okay. So then it gets to, oh, what did you dislike about this? And I'm
what happened was
no. So I had to sit back. I said, let me see if someone else is gonna say something. Let me see. It was probably like a good 15 seconds of just like sitting in silence. And then the other girl that sat across from me, I saw her hand was about to go up. And I only saw out the corner of my eye because of the color of the shirt she was wearing was super bright. So I see her hand going up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just be brave. And I threw my hand up. They were like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was like, I'm young, but I've sat through my fair share of these trainings. And what I noticed tends to happen, we start off like we want to change something, and then it ends up spiraling off into something completely different. Where I understand the need for the community and this, that, and the third, and all that is great. The reason we're having this is because there's not enough diversity within our leadership. There's not enough diversity. There's not enough inclusion within our leadership. There's not enough equity. Why are different sites with the same position, same title, all making different money? That's the problem with equity. They're not equally being paid for the same job that they're doing based off of their parameters and what surrounds them. You know what I mean? And I was like, and it's one of these, I feel like a lot of people held back on what they could have or should have or would have said if there were certain people that weren't in the room. I shouldn't be sitting here shaking in my boots because I feel like I'm gonna lose my job because you asked a prompt and I'm answering this said prompt. I shouldn't feel uncomfortable speaking my truth. We say, be in our truth, be who we are, but at what cost? If it makes you uncomfortable, then I can't be who I am because it made the next person uncomfortable. And guess what? That person that I made uncomfortable sits in a position of power who can now dangle my job in my face because they don't like what I had to say, when it's more of a reflection of what and who they are versus what I am saying. That's not fair in these spaces. So if we're really going to create these kinds of spaces, we really need to lift the veil, and it needs to be an honest conversation about what it needs to be about. We keep putting a Band-Aid over these things, but we're not getting to the root of the problem. Who's above us?
Yes.
Because then it trickles down to who's below us. Crickets.
Mic drop.
You know what I mean? And I articulated it in that way. So it's like, you cannot be mad at what I'm saying because it was professionally said. If you feel uncomfortable, you need to check your ego at the door when these conversations are being had. If you feel uncomfortable, you feel attacked, it's because something somebody said made you feel that way, but that wasn't their intent. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I had to damn near, to get my job that I have now, I damn near had to jump through hoops just to get it back because their perception of me from the past was ego-driven, ego-based. It wasn't that, oh, I did a phenomenal job in my position. It wasn't that my numbers were great. It wasn't that my retention and staff was phenomenal. It was none of that. No. Ultimately, yes, that's what got me the position again, but it was how I made people feel when I asked these kinds of questions and or made them uncomfortable in a way that they've never felt before, that they felt I was disrespectful. When I look back in my time, I was never disrespectful. I just asked questions and you didn't like that I was asking questions. That was never a me thing. That was a you thing. I was not going to sit here and be made to fear these people because they have said position. I'm not, baby.
Right.
I'm sorry. Are you Jesus Christ in the flesh?
Right.
Guess what I did? I left and found another job. Guess what I would do? What I'll do if I have to do it again? Find another job. Like, I'm back because I want to be back. But what you're not going to do is hold it over my head how I used to be. You know what I mean? And the thing is now I feel like I'm worse than because I can articulate myself in a manner at which might actually be more lethal than the way I articulated myself before, because I'm gonna do it with a smile on my face. Ding. So that had me fucked up this week.
Well, that was a boatload.
You know what I mean?
With all that being said, let's close this section off and head over to our next section, which is
Ay bendito. Ay bendito. So, Ay bendito is a part of the show where we're going to let you know about any local news and media headlines that stood out to us and kind of dive into those things and like talk a little bit more about it. Yeah. So, I know you always got something for us. So, what you got for us?
Yeah, so if this loads. So, according to WCVB 5 ABC Boston, new inspection sticker rules in effect for vehicles registered in Massachusetts. So motor vehicles, motor vehicles passing required inspections in Massachusetts will now get a new sticker with the month the last sticker expired, rather than the month the actual inspection was done, according to the registry of motor vehicles. So
hold on, run that shit back. What?
Yeah. So I had to sit there. I was like, what? But I don't think a lot of people know about this. So this is why I wanted to mention it. Any vehicle owner late in getting a vehicle inspection beyond 1 year from the last inspection will no longer get a sticker displaying the month the new inspection occurred. So basically how I'm understanding it is you have till basically the end of the month. Like, let's say if it was due today. You have to the end of the month of November to get the inspection, right?
Yeah.
So now they're not doing it like that. Technically, you're supposed to get it done the month before. So now your inspection sticker will reflect the date that you got the inspection instead of the yeah.
So if I got it October 31st, I have to get it October 31st of next year
before October 31st. So they're doing this to prevent people having that extra month. Which makes no fucking sense.
Because my registration expired in October, and I went I went that Friday.
Honey, I went a month and a half.
Oh no, I went.
I said I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what.
Oh no! I don't wait. Like I'm like, I'm like, I have within that month to get my inspection done.
So now
that's how I've been operating.
It's not that anymore. So I don't know. And now, so basically, also they will no longer be providing you a vehicle report, inspection report. The sticker will now come with a a
QR code.
QR code, sorry. And you will scan that, and that will give you a digital.
When is that going to affect?
So it started already this month, November. So they're going to start doing it.
I just got mine done.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that, because they're going to start, obviously, now this is a new law. This is a little loop to kind of fuck people over into shit. So now, obviously, you didn't hear about it anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is news
to me.
So
they're like going to start pulling people over for this. So just be on the loop. If you want to know more about it, the WCVB.com website definitely has a whole article about it that I only read the first 2 paragraphs, and I already gagged. So I was like, noted. On another note, I like my space talk. So Vice is reporting that scientists discover huge extragalactic structure in hidden region of space, which is pretty cool, but it's also concerning. So scientists have discovered a huge extragalactic structure hidden behind the Milky Way in a mysterious area of the sky known as the zone of avoidance. So I don't know if anybody is also into space talk or whatever, but on TikTok there's this explanation of how really tiny Earth is compared to the whole entire space system. And it's kind of crazy that they're just now discovering, when I think about that video and I think about them finding this structure, so there's something hiding behind the Milky Way who can be possibly they didn't say what it is. I read the whole article. They didn't say what it is, but it's a structure. So I'm thinking it could be a rock. It could be another planet. We don't know exactly what it is. But that just I always love bringing up space because it's like, it's just a subtle reminder that you are like a grain.
Yeah. Less
compared to everything out
yeah.
there. And yeah, so I have those two. Do you have anything? Oh,
go ahead.
Offset died.
No,
Aaron
not
Carter.
Offset.
Oh, Take off. My bad. Don't cancel me. Takeoff died, and Aaron Carter died yesterday.
I saw that,
which is pretty trippy. Like, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel about Takeoff. I'm not a big Migos fan, but
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I only knew of Offset and Quavo.
True, but I did know that Takeoff was the more quiet and just calm and collective. The stories are absolutely insane. The fact that, you know, as a celebrity, as a person that already has so much access to money, you're still out there gambling is insane.
In the streets, what were they doing? Playing CeeLo?
Jesus Christ, what?
It was like CeeLo or something like that.
They weren't in the streets. They were gambling. I don't know what they were playing. I don't know any of the games.
But there was a picture that was released of like a body just laying there, and it looked like a tunnel almost. Like,
yeah, they were like in a hall or something.
Yeah,
I think it was a casino or something.
Oh, okay.
You know, but the story goes is that, well, from what I heard, the bodyguard of Quavo and Takeoff, Jesus Christ, I'm messing up all these names, actually was the one who ended up shooting Takeoff by accident.
Oh.
And that's how this went down. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I'm reporting obviously alleged news.
Yeah.
And then for Aaron Carter, he was found in a bathtub in Hollywood. And if anybody has been following Aaron Carter, he's been going through depression pretty much his whole life. He was a child star and basically became an adult OnlyFans content creator. And
no, he didn't.
Yeah, he was doing OnlyFans, and he's very proud of it.
Good for him.
And yeah, he just had a baby, and I think he committed suicide. So I don't know. It's a crazy time. Celebrities are dropping like flies right now.
Literally.
So, yeah. And it's crazy because just to see people online like leaving their comments and stuff, and I'm just like, wow.
People suck, yo. People suck.
Wow.
No bullshit. People suck.
I don't know. Anything else?
Nah, fam. I got nothing.
I
got nothing. I'm trying to see if I saved anything, but I did not.
Well, then I guess that ends that section. We'll head over to our next section, which is
Caldero Talk.
It is Caldero Talk, and this is the part of the show we're going to give you the meat.
Carne.
And we're going to dissect and discuss the topic. And, I'm
excited for this week's Caldero Talk.
I know that you are, because
subscribers are in for a treat.
Absolutely can speak to this. Me on some kind of level. But yeah, so learning to leave your hometown in your 20s.
Yes.
I think the most for me...
I want to take that back, and learning to leave your hometown, period.
Yeah.
I think that we labeled it in our 20s.
And then you think like it's over, that's it.
Yeah, like after 20
like, I'm in my last year of my 20s. Like, do I got to move tomorrow in order to fulfill that?
You can definitely leave at any time. I mean, depending on your situation and your responsibility. But I think especially for us who we are young, single, people living in this world, we can definitely just pick up tomorrow and just be like, all right, I mean, if our savings are okay, whatever you're comfortable moving with, then we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
You know, some situations is a little bit more, you know, you got to plan it out, but I definitely am voting for yes. Leave your hometown. I mean, I try to advocate that to the kids. Leave.
I had that conversation with one of my staff. She's only 17 and she's starting to fill out her applications for college. And I'm like, where do you want to go? And she's like, oh,
Neco.
Here. No. She wanted to go to a university, but it's close. And I was like, it's only like 20 minutes away. And so I'm like, okay, like if they offer you a full scholarship, by all means, yes, do that. And then I was talking to her, I was like, oh, like and if they offer you a full scholarship, because she wants to be a female in STEM, a Latina in STEM. So with that, there's going to be a lot of money in it for her, because there was not a lot of people in that field, let alone a lot of women. So I was telling her, I was like, oh, like you should definitely take this time, study abroad. Like if you're not coming out of pocket for it, yo, use that money. Like go places. She's like, I don't want to travel. I said, hold on.
It's such a
I was offended. I said, what do you mean you don't want to travel? Yeah. Listen, this Thanksgiving, I'm going back to Michigan. Let's go back to last year when I said I wasn't going back to Michigan. Baby, I'm going back. Why? Because I get to travel. I get to get my ass on a plane and I get to travel. And with that, I get to do other things this time around. So I'm like hyped about it, you know? But like little things like that, like I love getting to I love the airport. I'm not gonna hold you. I love the airport. There might be not many people that do, but I love the airport, especially if I'm there on time.
Well, you're a responsible traveler.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. That's why I love the airport. I am there 2 hours early.
I'm never phased. I always book early morning flights. I learned my lesson with this Puerto Rico trip. Like, this is why you never break that rule. Always book early morning flights, because that midday shit, that afternoon, like, honey, you see how they switched up on me? And I was like, I was waiting in line for 2 hours, and I had to really like test like, have I healed? Because I really want to turn up right now, but I'm not. I'm not going to turn up right now. I'm not going to turn up right now. I'm going to wait.
Right. But having that conversation with them, we're like, oh, you should study abroad. And she, in her mind, studying abroad here. For her, mental there is a fly. It's just a mental note.
I've been trying to get rid of it. I don't know. But
so if you see our...
El cuarto está limpio, so no venga con eso. It came in through the window. We had the window open.
It's dirty outside. It's dirty outside. So when we were talking, I was like, why don't you want to study abroad? And she's like, oh, I don't know, like that. I'm going to be in STEM. Like, what's the point? And I was like, girl, there are medical advances, scientific advances that are happening not just in the US. Like we are we are late to the game in terms of medical advancements. Like if you're going to be in the medical field, go study abroad. If you're going to be just study abroad. Even if you go to do your gen eds abroad, I don't know. Study abroad. In her mind, you have to be in fashion. That's why you would go to Paris, you know?
It's so limited.
Like it's limited. Like they think it's limited, but no, you can check out other institutes while you study abroad. Like, and I literally was like, please, please, please. Like, oh, like if you don't ever want to travel again, okay. Seize the opportunity when you are in college because you have nothing else to worry about. I was like, you want to know what's waiting for you? And I used to hate when my mom said this to me. You want to know what's waiting for you on the other side of that? Work. You're going to clock in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And hopefully I pray that you have the job that you want. You know, you chase after your dreams. You get where you want to get to. But
35 years, a job.
when you are in it, just like make sure you are embracing the culture. And I was like, and travel. And I was like, and I'm not talking about just DR. Okay, because that's something you do every summer. You do that, you know. Go to Europe, go to Australia, go to India, go to Japan. Like
go to Africa.
You know what I mean? Shit, I did. I loved it. I want to go back and even just explore the U.S. and not get New York.
Yeah.
Love you, New York. But a lot of the kids here are so close-minded into thinking it's Boston and New York, Boston, New York, DR, Boston, New York, DR, Puerto Rico, maybe, but that's it. There is other life outside of, but don't say you don't like it because your family has made you feel scared to do anything and or leave their home, which brings us to our topic, leaving your home. College alone is different for a lot of us because we are so used to being sheltered and kept under our parents' wings. And I know a lot of people that got full rides to fucking school and their parents were like, you're not going that far.
That's insane.
You're not going that far. Giving up full scholarships to end up, not that community college is bad, giving up full scholarships because their parents, to go to community college because their parents did not want them to leave. I'm glad Sulma said, bye, help me pack my shit, drop me off. Because I was 2 hours away and even that was a culture shock. Granted, I'm used to being around Hispanics and I went to a predominantly white school. So that was a culture shock for me. I was just like, oh, this what y'all be doing out here? Like, that's crazy. It's wild. Oh my God. And then I moved out at 20. The first time I moved out, I was 23. Moved out for the first time. And I only moved to Salem, New Hampshire. Not Salem, Manchester, New Hampshire. It was only 30 minutes.
Manchester is a big shock. I lived there for 2 weeks.
It's different.
Okay.
It's different. But I mean, it was a good experience. Like I learned to budget my money. I had an apartment. I never had to ask anybody to spot me for whatever reason. Like Sulma was to the point where I didn't call her. Like, mommy knows, like, when I move out, I don't look back. And it's so bad. Like, the only time I would go home was if there was, like, holidays, Christmas. Mind you, I was only 30 minutes away. I was only 30 minutes away. And I didn't call my mom. I didn't go home. Like, nothing. Like, once I'm on my own, I'm on my own. And for my mom, that's a lot. She's like, damn, like, this girl really don't need me. My mom paid my rent 2 different times in the year because she was like, you got to need me for something. I didn't ask her to do that. She didn't pay my whole rent. She gave me my half of the rent to give to my roommate. Yeah. And I was like, no, mommy, that's okay. Like, I have the money. She's like, no. Like, that way so you could plan a trip or something. But she was like, I have to have some type of hand in this life because you literally have not left the door open for me. This time around, it'll look different when I do move out, God willing. However, I don't see me staying in Massachusetts. Yeah. And that feeling is getting stronger and stronger. You know what I mean?
×2.
And I don't know how to explain that, but like, it's like, I don't know where I'm being pulled. It's not here anymore.
It's a weird feeling because it's like, I have been wanting to leave. Y'all have been hearing me since the start of this podcast. Like, I'm leaving here. I'm leaving this summer. And, it's a weird feeling because although I have left before, I've left twice. Mm-hmm. I've left to New York. I've left to LA. And I ended up right back here. And so most people will be like, maybe that's a sign. Maybe you should. But
no, I take it as a reset because we have that luxury to come back to our families.
Thank you. And I literally had to explain this to someone. Like, I have the luxury of having a parent who is like,
who loves me and is like, you can come home.
Your
room is there.
Do what you need to do. As long as you work, as long as you support yourself, I'll give you a room. But you got to take care of yourself. Like, you're a grown man. You got to find a job. And I always come home. I'm always on my P's and Q's, like 2 jobs, This time around, it was like, get a car, get my license, like get these last little minute things that I should have gotten when I was younger, but I didn't have the maturity to do. Mm-hmm. So this time around, I'm just kind of ready to find something different. And I think that's what's taking so long because it's like I know where I want to go. And I don't want to say it, but I know where I want to go. I just don't know. No, I'm just super fucking scared. I'm terrified. I'm terrified because I'm going to be somewhere where the language obviously is somewhere that I'm familiar with, but I have to learn a lot. I actually have one of my friends, him and I are like practicing Spanish, so we only text in Spanish. We only voice note in Spanish. Just because like I don't have anybody that I really just talk Spanish with, and he's the same boat. Like, he knows no Spanish and he's Puerto Rican and he's like, yo, I feel so like untapped from my culture because I don't know Spanish. And so I was like, yo, let's just challenge each other. And every time we text, every time we talk.
And a side note, can we please stop making fun of people who don't speak Spanish fluently because that wasn't the predominant language in their household? Period. Like, there was a moment at work where someone was speaking Spanish and one of the other girls was like, can you stop speaking Spanish because that sounds crazy? And I had half of mine to be like, but, and if we come for you about your English, then we're the assholes. But effort is being had on both sides. Like, and then it made me feel it. And I was just an onlooker. I was just watching this happen, like, between my staff. And I was like, at least I have the confidence to speak Spanish, even though it might not be as clean as you think it is. I'm like, you're speaking Spanish from the campo. You think that shit is textbook Spanish?
I always love
all of our Spanish is ugly.
People with their broken down Spanish try to correct other people. I love that.
It's my favorite. I'm just like, what? But then for me, I realized that is an insecurity that I still haven't dealt with because they're telling these parents that are coming to talk to me, oh, but she doesn't speak Spanish. Who the fuck told you I don't speak Spanish? I don't speak it in front of y'all, but I can speak Spanish. Like, so the parents are coming into my office like, hi, permiso. I'm like, yeah, how can I help you? Oh, no, because they told me that you don't speak a lot of Spanish. I said, no, I don't, but we can teach each other. Yeah. What can I help you with? Like, for you to, like, and then, but the thing is that this person is doing it because she lost control. She's no longer in control because I am now. So she's like, ooh, how do I keep that? The parents still going to have to need me because I can speak Spanish fluently. She can't speak Spanish fluently.
Baby, Google Translate.
Got it. Baby.
The way that I be calling these clients on the phone and I'm like, buen dia. Let's start there.
Right, you know what I mean? But anyways, sorry, I digress. Keep going. So learning the language, you and your friend are.
Yeah, learning the language. I'm gonna be somewhere where access to a lot of things is not a thing. Like for instance, like even that's something as simple. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about like how to live there and what to expect. And something as simple as just like an Amazon, what's that place called? An Amazon warehouse, whatever. You know how we have Amazon so accessible to us, and like I order everything off of Amazon, and they don't have that. Like you're waiting days, if not weeks, for something. It's like, damn, like you definitely need a car. The temperature is another level. So all these factors that I'm just like, I don't know if this is what I want to do, but I definitely know that I'm done with the East Coast. I'm done with winter. I'm done with everything. The mentality, the always having to stay busy, the always having to work all these jobs and still not even be able to afford an apartment. Like, I'm just tired of that. So that's what's pushing me more and more. Like, let me tell you guys, if you're an American and you know your shit, you can literally go to any other country and you can win. Like, I remember growing up in the dance world, they always would tell us, like, if you guys go to, like, China or Japan, like, they will eat you guys up. Like, they will book you. They will, as long as you're talented and you know your shit and you know how to get into these rooms, you will make money. And, like, I know a lot of dancers who did that. One of my friends went over to Turkey, and he he's a celebrity there. Like he can go to Turkey now and they will take pictures with him. And I'm like, all he did was dance. Like that's insane to me. But it's like, you just need to know where you need to go. And he left and he backpacked across, I don't know where he started, but all over Europe. And like, that's inspiring to me. That's also something that I have in the back of my mind. Like, just work, stay here another year, save up, and be out. But I want people to look at me and be like, yo, I want, like, this kid lives his life so free. Like, he just goes for it. And that's how I want to live life. Like, and I want people to see those things and think to themselves, like, I don't need to stay here because I have a good job. I don't need to stay here because this is the way life is. Like, that mentality is so draining. And if you are young and you are listening to this, like, not only, school's a great option if you want to travel.
Not even young though, but like if you have the means, like you have nothing holding you back,
then go. And if you're sitting there and you're like, yo, this is a message, like
this is a sign.
This is your sign, baby. Because when it's time to go, babes, everything in your world, in your version of your world, in your eyes, in your mind, is going to force you out. That is how the universe works. It will get rid of the negative and only make you focus on what you need to focus on. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that time to come. Because before New York, before I moved to New York the first time, everything went left. Like, I spent 2 months just everything going left, losing my apartment, losing my job, like losing, having to leave the dance companies I was in. Like, I was at the fucking Boston bombings. Like, the Boston bombings happened 2 weeks before this. And I was like, this is me being dramatic, but I just was like literally the world around me is telling me, like, you got to get the fuck out of here. Like, you're done. You're done. It's a wrap. I kept having dreams about it. I kept thinking about it. It was like an obsession until I got there. And I moved to New York with only $700 in my pocket. And I stayed there for 6 years. Like, it is absolutely possible. People think like, I need, $10,000, $12,000, $20,000. You can always put an amount to what you need, baby. But if you really want to do something, you're going to figure it out. Right? Because what are we taught? We're taught to work. Use your hands. Get a job. One thing I know how to do, baby, is I'm going to find a job. I'm going to find it. If I got to flip a burger, bro, I'm going to flip the burger for 60 hours a week until I find something. Because one thing I'm not going to do is fail. Right? Failure is never an option, especially when you leave. Like, when I went to LA, the first month in, I already knew I didn't want to stay there. Like, nothing. The way that LA is soulless, you cannot go to LA and like find the things that you find here. It's so different. And it's this feeling of just like, you got to be like mentally prepared for this shit out here. Because they say like the devil resides in LA. And I truly believe that. I experienced it. And after 6 months, I had a mental breakdown and I was like, yo, I got to go home. I never felt that feeling like I need to be in Lawrence. I need to have Brothers Pizza. I need to go to Pecking Garden. Like these things that just was like I had hidden in the back of my head were just coming to the forefront. And it was just like, I got to go home. But I would have never found that out if I would have never left. You know, and I think to wrap it up is kind of just like, go. If you think this is your sign, if you're sitting there and you're like, yo, this is what I needed to hear today, then go. Because the more that you wait, baby, you know what's waiting for you?
Bills.
No, baby, not even that. What's waiting for you is the inevitable. The time that you come that you have to pass. And you don't want your time to come and you never got to live those things, those wild thoughts that you have in your head, right? That's crazy times that you have. So
create those memories. And I think that if you're scared because of what your family might think,
fuck them.
And if you have the relationship,
I said that, not Nina. Yeah. Fuck them.
If you have the relationship to sit down and talk to them, like, I want to experience this life, like I want to see what else is out there, then have those conversations. But if they're just not budging, then go. Yeah. For sure, go.
I will tell you, everyone in my family said the same thing. You're fucking crazy. You're crazy. How are you going to do that? How are you going to go? You need to.
But it's fucked up, though, because if you end up being successful when you do leave, then they brag on you. So-and-so moved here. But and they journey, do this now and they do that now. And I'm like,
let me just say, the journey is fucking lonely. And if you don't know how to be alone, you will not survive.
And this is why leaving your hometown and creating that individuality and learning how to survive is so important. And that's not to say that you need to move across the country or whatever. You can do that. Listen, if you're 18, it can be the next city over. If you're 18 and you're listening to this and you're going to college, use that time. Try not to come home every weekend. Stay there. Really get a grasp on what it is to be.
Get familiar with your area. Get familiar with the landmarks. Get familiar with everything. Like, I would have never came home my first year if my dad didn't die. Like, I was on a no contact zone. Like, I was not calling my mom. The first 6 months, my mom was like, you're never going to come back and visit? I was like, no. Like, what am I going to go visit? You need to come out here. Yeah. There ain't nothing for me to see over there. I've seen everything I needed to see in this city.
You can stand right here and see everything you got to see.
So,
you know what I mean? But all that to say, we came to this because we saw this post that said leaving your home in your hometown in your 20s is a life hack. And with that, if you are a young person and or wherever you are in life right now, I highly suggest you create a plan to move away from your hometown. Leaving the typical norms you grew up with will help you develop as an individual and force you to grow in ways staying home is just not going to do for you. Your environment plays a huge role in how you feel, what you think, how you carry yourself, who you hang out with, what you care about, and what you do. Once you switch your environment, you switch your focus. You make friends based on common interests instead of growing up together. I can't stress this enough. Get out of your hometown, even if it's not forever. Move, travel, see the world. There's more to life than the same 10 people and the same 2 bars that you've been attending. Yeah.
Hey, everything on that was absolutely true. I will second it. And if this is your sign, baby, go. And if you need advice or anything, feel free to DM me. I figured it out. You can figure it out too. Everyone is capable of doing it.
Absolutely.
And failure is not an option. Just because you have to move back home, baby, that doesn't mean that you fail. That means that you learn.
But if you're going to fail forward.
Period. And on that note, we'll close this section out and head over to our last section, which is A Reposar.
Reposar! All right. Welcome to Reposar, which is the part of the show where we are going to leave you with all the feel goods, any announcements that we might have, and always, per usual, affirmations. So, do you want to start?
I'm going to paraphrase. I'm going to use this Drake lyric that stuck out to me while listening to that very toxic album that he dropped. He said something along the lines of like, if being real was a crime, then I'd be in trouble my whole life. And I was like, yo, that's literally me. Like, yo, I'm always in trouble because my mouth just talks and I don't think, and I'm just being honest. Like, if I'm honest and I'm just telling you to raw.
But you're not even like malicious about it, which is wild.
You haven't seen.
I'm sure you can be.
But sometimes, I've had to apologize for things. But at the same time, I'm just like, I am going to apologize. But in the back of my head, I'm like, bitch, you can't handle the truth. Sorry. What about you?
Just like I ended last section, fail forward. Because that just means that when you get up, now you've seen the mistakes and then you can keep pushing forward. Failure isn't a bad thing. Failure is a marker that there is still growth that needs to be had. So by failing forward, you're still going to keep pushing while growing as you continue to move through life. So I will say fail forward.
All right, y'all. So I just want to thank all of our subscribers for tuning in this week. If you guys can please repost any little sound bites that you can from this, that would be amazing. We can't post video about these episodes for numerous reasons, but obviously you also can't screen record, which is super annoying. Like Spotify doesn't let you screen record the subscriber episodes. I tried, it doesn't work. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see our special subscribers in 2 weeks. So yeah, see you guys next one. My name is Rosales, and I'm blasting off.
And I'm Nina Montañez. Stay blessed, mi gente. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Sofrito Speaks.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Sofrito Speaks to keep up with all of our latest content.